Information station, WTIM.
Welcome into WTIM, your information station. I'm Tim Zalabak, your host of the WTIM Pana Morning Show, this time with Pana Chief of Police Daniel Bland. Thank you so much to our sponsors. This has been brought to you by our title sponsor, People's Bank and Trust, where they put people first, along with Pizza Man, Noren's Hardware, your Pana Save-A-Lot, Whiskey Bill's Saloon and Liquor Emporium, the City of Pana, and Locked and Loaded Limited. Thank you so much to our live stream sponsors as well, People's Bank and Trust, where they put people first, and Landmark of Taylorville, where you always do better with Landmark, streaming live on Facebook and YouTube TV. Once again, thank you so much to Chief Bland for coming in today. Chief Bland, how are you?
Doing good, Tim. How are you doing?
I'm doing well. We appreciate you coming in for our WTIM Pana morning show today. Let's just hop right into it. This summer, things have been kicking off well over here in Taylorville. How have things been generally with law enforcement and over in the city of Pana so far this summer?
Generally speaking, things are going really well over here in Pana. From a public safety aspect and point of view, we're always looking for, adjustments to seasonal expectations of services and, events, community events, criminal activity. We're always looking for ways to just improve and provide a better service. And overall, the summer's going well.
That's really, really great to hear, and especially with all the incoming fairs and what have you that come to cities during the summertime. You obviously added law enforcement are needed sometimes, and communication between departments. It's really cool to see how well you guys all interact with each other within your law enforcement and to other cities as well. It's just it's all really cool to see all that teamwork go about. Talking about the Pana Tri-County, you guys have the Pana Tri-County Fair, is that right?
There is a fair, yes, around Labor Day time.
Cool,
yes.
Cool. And you guys have added enforcement or any added services out at those types of events?
There is. I mean, the Christian County Sheriff's Office always spearheads that, being it's in their jurisdiction, but it affects our community because it's adjacent to our jurisdiction. But there's events throughout the city, from 4th of July parades and events and Labor Day parades. And just over the last year, seeing our city advance in different areas of just improvements creates more things for the community to do, but also that creates a more of a responsibility for us as law enforcement to, provide that service necessary to keep things safe.
Absolutely. And that's kind of going to be what our conversation is about today. The movement that law enforcement has made in the past years. I want you to describe a little bit about yourself, some of your biography, how long you've been working with law enforcement. We're going to kind of learn some of the changes, some of the progressions that have been made in the past years of law enforcement today. I'm looking forward to it. So Chief Bland, talk to us a little bit about you. How long have you been involved with Pana Police?
Well, I've been working with Pana PD since 1997, so 27 years in this business. Seen some pretty drastic changes in the profession. I was born and raised in Pana. It's my hometown. After college, thought about moving away, but my roots drew me back to the area to invest in the community and just do what I can to make a difference. And just as I hired in back in 97 and looking back and seeing the just incredible changes from the profession of originally hired in, we'd walk the downtown beat and chalking tires and checking doors and just some basic, low-level patrol things. And then as it's advanced through just technology, social media, expectations of services, responsibilities, new laws, new ordinances, just through the years, a drastic change has come about. The majority of it for the good. There's been some challenging areas, obviously, that we've had to adapt to. But that's part of our profession and just capability of adapting and improvising and just overcoming to do what's necessary to serve our community.
Absolutely. So you brought up a whole lot of topics there. 27 years with law enforcement and chief of police in the Pana police departments. And 2015, talk about social change. You mentioned technology, and just social awareness and socialness of just we are currently. Talk to me about what's first on your mind. You're thinking of these changes and what has changed in law enforcement. What do you keep up with more these days, and what do the public be more aware of?
Sure. Well, I look just since I started in 2013 as chief, and there's some major transitional events throughout our country that created, some extreme, either criticism from our profession or just negative attention. And, how can we better improve our services and be more transparent, and yet also a vital aspect from my point of view is just how can I protect my officers from putting them in a situation when they're out trying to do right, doing the best they can, and yet, sometimes if events are not, specifically known of what happened, or that was kind of the first phase where body cams were become more available. We've had since late 2014 when some events happened in some other states, and I promised I wouldn't allow my officers to be put in a situation where, questioning what actually happened. I wanted to be, transparent to the public. It makes us better. It makes society and the court system run more effectively with just clear openness of what happened during events, especially major events. So that was kind of the first phase, and just learning how to implement and update new policies, provide better training for officers. The social media world took off with just, interaction with the public and sharing information. That was a major change. All that kind of evolved into the Safety Act and transition. I mean, just looking back over the last 11 years I've been chief, it's turned drastically different. But yet I say for the most part for the better. Been a lot of challenges, but yet we work to just overcome and make the changes necessary. But it's made us better officers, I feel. We're by far, I think, more professional, more ready, more trained to handle situations from as simple as, basic calls for service to the most extreme and violent, dangerous of calls for service. I think our officers are more prepared than they've ever been.
Wow, absolutely. And call it maybe 20 years it's been since there has been this real criticism, and police and law enforcement have become almost polarizing to the community. Maybe past 20 years ago, there was a population of people that had their problems with law enforcement, but it really seems that negative attention, as used, I'm using words that you actually used with criticism, and yeah, we're seeing that all over the place. And with the introduction of body cameras, just trying to keep your officers safe. When I'm thinking about getting into the profession, people that want to be police officers were into law enforcement. Are you saying discouraging some discouraged officers out there with this change in society?
Well, absolutely. Unfortunately, through this last 10 years process of just the scrutiny, and it's put a hit on our profession, on candidates, interest from those coming out of college, or just people wanting to serve and protect. The scrutiny it's narrowed down our hiring field. It's exposed kind of what's expected from someone who's called for service out to a call. They have the ability to take rights from people if the laws are broken. So there's this extreme accountability of decision making by officers, performance. The level is through the roof, and yet being scrutinized, split second decisions, how they were made. We want to do better, but we're not perfect. Every profession you look around, there's always someone within a profession that's made a bad decision. Yet through this process, it's devastated the number of people interested in such a noble profession. No doubt about that.
Yeah, and with the combination of social responses or citizen responses and like legislation like the Safety Act, does that put even more pressure to make that right decision? And of course, in times of fast quicking and fast thinking and quick decision making there, I mean, it's just really tough on officers.
It is. Initially when that act came about and introduced, and then there's a lot of worry and concern, and there still is, as far as just the adaptation of it. I think they could have taken more time to be more clear on the legislation and how it's enacted. The court systems have some major changes within how they implement their portion of it. The law enforcement portion of it, there's some extreme changes. But yet overall, when you look at the entirety of the bill, the majority of things in there, I personally feel if we're doing the job right, the majority of things there you should already be doing.
Yeah.
Duty to intervene. I mean, an officer is required if they see an officer performing at a level that's unnecessary force being used, losing their patience. They're simple things like that. Body cams, the requirement of that's coming into play. Numerous things that's like we should already be doing, which makes us better. But then there's also things within the bill that has made it very challenging, on complaints and anonymous complaints and just the reporting of things that, but we're adapting. And I think we're better from it, but yet there's still some improvement I think needs to be made. But overall, it's working out. I really believe that.
That's really, really amazing to hear. And that is the overall conversation I've had and the conclusion that law enforcement officials that I've been able to speak to have come to. I mean, there's changes in legislation, changes in the way society acts, but it means nothing to you guys because you guys are going to keep persisting. You're going to keep, you're going to keep upholding the law, and you're going to just continue to keep the community safe. And that those words never change depending on which law enforcement we are speaking to. This time, we're speaking with Pana Chief of Police Daniel Bland. It's time for us to take our quick time out. Much more to talk about with Chief Bland after the break. Thanks so much to our title sponsor, People's Bank and Trust, where they put people first. Along with Pizza Man, Noren's Hardware, your Pana Save-A-Lot, Whiskey Bill's Saloon and Liquor Emporium, the City of Pana, and Locked and Loaded in Limited. Thanks so much to our live stream sponsors, and thanks to all those who are tuning into the live stream today. People's Bank and Trust, where they put people first, and Landmark of Taylorville, where you always do better with Landmark. We'll be right back here on the WTIM Pana Morning Show.
Your information station, WTIM.
Save a lot on all your summer favorites this week at your locally owned Pana Save a Lot. Tim and Eric here with the deals.
Family pack chicken wings, $1.99 a pound.
California red cherries, only $2.49 a pound.
12-ounce packages of Coburn Farm shredded cheese, only $1.99.
USDA Choice Eye of Round or Sirloin tip steaks, $4.99 a pound.
Boneless center cut pork chops, $2.49 a pound.
And fresh peaches or nectarines, only $1.49 a pound.
These prices are good through Tuesday, June 25th at your locally owned Pana Save a Lot.
Hope to see you soon.
Summer days and nights in Central Illinois just keep getting better. Enjoy live music on the patio at Whiskey Bill's Saloon and Liquor Emporium in Pana. On June 28th, welcome back the amazing Molly Seaton from 7 p.m. to 10 p.m. Molly's songs are inspiring. You will leave with a great feeling inside. Enjoy live music, delicious food, and ice-cold drinks all summer long at Whiskey Bill's Saloon and Liquor Emporium, just off Route 16 in Pana.
Noren's Hardware is a local family-owned store offering a wide selection of quality hardware supplies at competitive prices. Whether you need plumbing supplies or electric supplies, you're sure to find what you need at Noren's Hardware Store, including hot melt, shovels, gloves, inflation, and propane to get ready for the winter months. Our staff is committed to providing outstanding customer service and is ready to assist you. Visit our store at 55 Main Street in Pana today.
People's Bank and Trust, where they put people first, are proud to continue their long-standing sponsorship of honoring Taylorville High School Students of the Month on WTIM's many platforms on AM, FM, and streamed online, and on WMKR, Genuine Country 94.3.
My name is Grady Haynot. I am the Senior Student of the Month. My parent is Melissa Haynot. My extracurricular activities are football, track and field, and the Taylorville fishing team. My interests and hobbies are fishing and hunting. My future plans are to become an electrical lineman for Ameren. And my favorite subjects are ag classes because they are more hands-on and skill-based.
People's Bank and Trust, where they put people first, salutes these great Taylorville High School students on this honor and wish them the best in their future. People's Bank and Trust, member FDIC.
Thank Byers Chiropractic in Pana for all your spring and summer aches, pains, and injuries. Let me, Dr. Bill Byers, and Dr. Ethan Harper help you. Learn more at byerschiro.com or click on my banner at TaylorvilleDailyNews.com.
Find out about available units at Taylorville's Valley View Mobile Home Park, 913 North Taylorville Boulevard, by clicking the Valley View Mobile Home Park icon on the obits page of TaylorvilleDailyNews.com.
Your information station, WTIM.
And welcome back into the WTIM Pana Morning Show, right here on WTIM, your information station. Speaking with the Pana Chief of Police, Daniel Bland. It's been an unbelievable conversation so far. We're looking forward to continuing that. But before this WTIM Pana Morning Show, brought to you by our sponsor, People You Can Trust, where they put people first, along with Pizza Man, Noren's Hardware, Save a Lot, Ski Bill's Saloon and Liquor Emporium, the City of Pana, and Locked and Loaded Limited. We've been speaking with Chief Bland about the changes in law enforcement and the Safety Act. We kind of got into that conversation a little bit, but now we wanted to talk a little bit about the benefits and services provided to offenders, because that has been a big change in the past 10 years. Kind of take the conversation from me here, Chief.
Yes, just looking back over the years, initially, law enforcement services was just to, you respond to a call, hold someone accountable if the law is broken, send them into the criminal justice system and hope that process will, address, fix the problem and it doesn't reoccur. And we've learned through the years that, those that are in the system of making choices, the bad choices, just consequential choices, we've learned there's a cause and effect to that individual. And by learning that, trying to find out why that person made a decision, which was to break the law. Some choices just blatant disregard of the law or rebellion or just an act of violence. But yet there's also numerous choices made that the cause within that individual has caused them to make a bad choice, whether it's hurts, habits, just lifestyle, child development, you name it. That individual's experienced life, and sometimes traumatic events has led that person into hurts and pain, and how are they coping with that? And so they've resulted in substance abuse, the addictive personalities, and it leads to choices that they get in the system. So we have learned attack those causes with more services, services, the problem-solving course, the mental health course, the safe passage programs throughout the area, the big shout out to Celebrate Recovery programs. I've experienced that firsthand, seeing numerous people walking through the doors, addressing an issue internally within them that changes their choices, their lifestyles, their peers, where they go, and they ultimately make better choices, which then reduces recidivism, reduces crime, reduces chaos, reduces domestics, reduces child abuse, you name it. So by attacking those and addressing those issues internally within an individual can improve your community, your public safety, your options. And we've seen that firsthand in our community with just, that's why your numbers, you should see a decrease in crime. And, when you attack those areas in a positive way, it's a long-term approach. Now, not every time, work every time, but people analysis get we've learned to do over the last several years, working with numerous agencies and resource centers, and it's been neat to watch from my point of view through several years the changes and the positive impact it's had.
Wow. It's so encouraging to hear this every time I hear it, especially from the Chief of Police, Pana Chief of Police, Daniel Bland, right there, because you can speak on the black and white nature of how it used to be. You caused a crime, or you did a crime there, and you're going to have to, you talked about the system letting it play out as it did. There was really no conversations back then about how are we going to get this person to not reoffend. We'll just deal with them if they do reoffend.
That's correct. If you broke the law, you're going to be held accountable. Naturally, we need that still in the system of fear of consequence and accountability, but yet now, why did you do that? And then let's look into the cause and effect of it. If you're hurting, if you're, the child development is a major factor in how we go up and how we deal with relationships. And a lot of domestic disturbance calls or people were never taught how to, cope with frustration or anger or circumstances, so there needs to be support and classes for that, or, whether it's, the substance abuse and the addiction struggles, evolve from painful circumstances the majority of the time.
Yeah.
And if you can address that, it improves that individual, it improves your community, it improves the area, and that's the goal ultimately is addressing problems through that point of view.
Absolutely. And on paper and logically, it sounds really simple. And I'm really glad we're starting to crack the code to all of this. Chief Bland, we're in our last minute. Any last words for our listeners out there?
Well, I would encourage everyone to just engage, interact, and trying to make a difference in their own little world, in your neighborhoods. From our point of view, we always encourage, our citizens to report cases that are, or someone needs to look into, but also just, we got to learn to care better for each other. How can we just be better citizens and to make our communities better, and I think the smaller communities they have an easier way of adapting to that because you have the personality or the relationships you can build. The larger cities it's a little more difficult, but I encourage everyone to just stay interacted with each other, learn to help, be patient, it's difficult at times, but yet we're in this together.
Absolutely. Really, really great words there from Pana Chief of Police Daniel Bland. Chief Bland, thank you so much for taking the time today.
Thanks for inviting me.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. Brought this WTIM Pana Morning Show brought to you by People's Bank and Trust, where they put people first. That's our title sponsor, along with Pizza Man, Noren's Hardware, Your Pana Save-A-Lot, Whiskey Bill's Saloon and Liquor Emporium, the City of Pana, and Locked and Loaded Limited. This has been the WTIM Pana Morning Show.
For attacking civilian targets in Ukraine. More men may get caught in the draft in Israel. The country's Supreme Court